Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Anne Dummer. If you are new, I talk about famous Shakespeare plays. Today we will be talking about the play The Tempest. But first, let me tell you who William Shakespeare is. William Shakespeare was born 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon. He died in 1616. His father, John, married Mary Adden and had 8 children. They lost 2 daughters when they were infants. He worked as a glove maker and also was an important figure in the town of Stratford by fulfilling civic positions. By being important, he got to send his children to grammar school, which is where William Shakespeare went to be able to write. William married Anne Hathaway. Anne was pregnant, so the marriage was very rushed. They had 3 children named Susanne, Hamnet, and Judith. Hamnet died when he was 11 years old. After this time, they call this period his lost years. There are many theories about what he was doing. He is a well-known English poet, playwright, and actor. He wrote 38 plays, 2 narrative poems, and 154 sonnets. He became a founding member of the Lord Chamberlain's Men. During this time, William wrote many of his tragedies. In 1599, Shakespeare and his business partner built their own theater called the Globe Theater. In the scene I'm acting out later, Prospero gives up his powers. So now that you know a little bit about William Shakespeare, let me introduce you to the characters in The Tempest. The key characters in The Tempest are Prospero, Miranda, Caliban, Ariel, and Gonzalo. Prospero has power over all the other characters. He gets into some trouble by neglecting matters. He has lots of schemes and manipulation. Miranda is almost 15 years old. She is very gentle and compassionate, but can be passive. Caliban is a son of a witch. He is a very complex character. He mirrors some of the other characters as well. Ariel is a spirit who works for Prospero. Prospero found Ariel and freed her, so she agreed to work for him for a year. She has many great abilities. Gonzalo was a man cast ashore. He is a counselor to Alonso. He is very kind but can be naive. So, I will be acting out the 5th act of the play, or part of the 5th act. That is the last act, so there's a lot that's happened before that act. So let me explain what has led up to this scene. Prospero is the Duke. Prospero allowed his brother Antonio to control the kingdom for many years. Prospero leads his life focusing on magic. Controlling the kingdom was not enough for Antonio. He wants to kill Prospero to gain his wealth. Instead, he decides to make Prospero leave by putting him on a boat on the sea with his daughter Miranda. A friend secretly puts food and water into the boat, giving them hope. They end up on a magical island that is cursed by a witch. Many good spirits are held here in trees. Ariel is one of the good spirits that Prospero let free. He treats all the spirits good except for one. Prospero treats Caliban very poorly because Caliban is a bad spirit. He is a son of the wicked witch. Prospero caused a great storm so that people on board came to shore. Ariel wants to be set free from Prospero. She calls Fernand to make him fall under a spell. He is forced to carry many logs. While this is going on, Miranda and Fernand are falling in love. Prospero allows them to get married. Antonio and Sebastian plot to kill Alonso. They want Sebastian to become the king. Ariel plays many mind games on the people. They all meet up and forgive each other for the sins that they have made. Most of them think that Fernand is dead. Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey. In time goes upright with the carriage. How's the day? On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease. I did say so, when I raised the tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the kings and the followers? confined together in the same fashion as he gave in charge, just as he left them all prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weathers fens your cells. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brothers, and yours, abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them. Brimful of sorrow and dismay, but chiefly him that you trim, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo, his tears went down his beard, like winter's drops. From eaves of reeds your charms go strongly worksome. They've now beheld your affections. Doubt thou think so, spirit? One would, sir, were I human. And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their affliction, and shall not myself, one of their kind, and release all as sharply. I'll fetch them, sir. Ye elves of hills, brooks standing takes and grows, and ye that on the sands with printless foot, do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back, and demi puppets, that my moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, in to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice. By my potent art, but this rough magic, I have adjured, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, the work mine, and upon their senseless, that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff. Holy Gonzalo, honorable men, mine eyes even sociable to the show of thine, fat fellowly drops, the charm dissolves a space, and as the morning steals upon the night, meeting the darkness, so there rises senses, begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clear reason. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver and a loyal heir, to him you foulest, I will pay thy graces home both in word and deed, whose inward pinches therefore are more strong, would have killed your king. I do forgive thee. Under natural thought thou art, their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore. That now lies foul and muddy, not one of them, they yet looks on me, or would know me Ariel. Fetch me that hat, and in my cell I will decase me and myself present, as I was sometimes Milan. Quickly, spirit. On the bat's back I do fly, after summer merely shall I live now, under the blossoms that hangs on the bough. Why, that's my dainty Ariel, I shall miss thee. But yet thou shalt have freedom, so to the king's ship, invisible as thou art. Thou find the miners asleep. Under the hatches the master and the boatswain, being awake, enforces them to this place. I drink the air before me, and return ere the pulse twice beat. After this they set sail to Naples. They prepare for the wedding of Ferdinand and Miranda. Prospero reclaims his title as the Duke. He was welcomed with happiness. He stops practicing magic. He forgave all the people who have wronged him. He lives happy. Even after everything people have done to him, he did not take vengeance, and that is why he is happy. After this, he sets Ariel free to do as she wants. I think that two main themes in the play The Tempest are illusion and colonization. Illusion is used in many different ways throughout the play. The whole thing starts with Prospero's magic and ends with it also. He uses illusions to manipulate his enemies. This gives him total control. Prospero even brings it up by asking if they think life is an illusion. Some bring up all the metaphors used in the play, which is almost used as an illusion also. Other ways that illusion is used during this play is with Ariel. She uses it throughout the whole play. Another theme in this play is colonization. During this time, many Europeans were interested in settling across the globe. The Tempest explores the Europeans settling and the natives. This is shown through Prospero and his views of Caliban being less. Prospero thinks Caliban should be thankful for him where Caliban is not. Caliban turns bitter when he realizes he let Prospero take control. Colonization is also shown with the fear and opportunities from the explorers. This can come out as being angry and mad. The fighting that happened was due to not knowing and being stuck. Kyrene Zabi gives this play a rating. She says that The Tempest is a very easy read, that it is not as thoughtful or dramatic as Macbeth or Hamlet. It is a theatrical work. The use of imagery serves a great role in creating the atmosphere. She rates it a 5 out of 5 and highly recommends it. Bowen N. rates The Tempest also. He says this opens up very serious questions about leadership and authority. It presents an ambiguous picture of colonialism, how power can be generated and abused. He thinks that Shakespeare used The Tempest to criticize Jacobean England. My personal assessment of this play is that I like it. I enjoy the different parts about it with magic. I think it is easier to follow than most of his other plays. I thought it was different from the other Shakespeare plays I have read. It ends in happiness instead of tragedy, like Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet. It is similar in ways that it is a somewhat romantic piece. Overall, I enjoyed the play. Thank you for watching. Next week I'll be going over William Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Like and subscribe. See you next week.